Steel, it's had a rather rough time over the last couple of years, but the stock that is, and perhaps more red today. L&T, though, it was a different picture altogether. Good numbers, robust order inflow, and the management confident of maintaining their guidance as well. Vivek has more for us. Vivek, morning.
Well, good morning. Absolutely right. They're guided for a 12 to 15% order inflow and revenue growth guidance. And they've hinted that, most likely they're going to be reaching the upper end of the band, as you indicated. When you're talking about the core numbers, most of the numbers were above the poll that we had estimated. Revenues coming in close to 42,700 crore mark, about a rise of almost 23%. EBITDA coming in at close to 4,900 crore. Again, a rise of over 22%. Margins coming in flat despite, the higher base. And when you're talking about the profitability, again, above the street estimates coming close to the 2,230 crore mark. Now, when you're talking about two important developments to keep an eye out for, L&T is looking to divest its entire road asset portfolio. In this particular quarter itself, the company is likely to sign an agreement to divest this entire road portfolio. The other thing, markets were anticipating the Hyderabad Metro divestment as well. However, the management has indicated they're looking to further reduce debt before that happens. Brokerages are bullish. CLSA sales, while the core E&C margins were a miss, and it's fallen both year-on-year and sequentially, they believe that margin visibility will increase due to softer commodity prices. Morgan Stanley has raised FY23 to FY25 EPS estimates by 1 to 8% based on the strong execution momentum that L&T is enjoying.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. So a lot of brokerages raising their earnings estimates on L&T, and the stock has had a good run lately. But let's find out the latest on Axis Bank. Nimesh is here to give us a lowdown on that. Nimesh, good morning.
Hi, morning, sir. I expect a large block in Axis Bank today morning. Bain Capital is looking to sell 1.24% stake in Axis Bank today. The book was launched last evening. The indicative price is 888, which suggests a 2% discount to yesterday's closing price. I'll go with the green because my sense is that deal will happen in the pre-open, in the block window. So there will be no risk of slippages. After this particular block, I'm not too sure on how much there is a lockup for Bain Capital, but they'll be remaining with 3% stake in Axis Bank. But today there's going to be a large block, almost 3,400 crores worth of block, where Bain Capital will sell 1.2% stake in Axis Bank today.
Nimesh, thank you very much for that. So that's one to watch. Now, Castrol, TCI Express, both reported numbers as well. Sonal is here with more. Sonal, hi, morning.
Good morning, Prashant. Let me start with Castrol, going with red here because, yes, the revenues grew, but the top-line growth was quite muted, up 4% on a YY basis. EBITDA was down 2%, and margins, they fell 140 basis points to come in at 23%. Profits were flat at 187 crore rupees. The company says that this particular quarter, that is the third quarter, witnessed inflationary and forex pressures. This was also led by volatile crude prices, which impacted base oil prices and the prices of additives as well. They say they have employed rigorous pricing and cost management initiatives which will help them contain the margins or improve them from here on. TCI Express, one of the few logistic companies which has seen margin being stable on a YY basis despite higher fuel prices. So going with green here, revenue growth of 13%, EBITDA growth of 14%, margin stable at 16.6%, leading to a profit growth of 11% coming in at 38 crore rupees. They also say that new value-added services, they are expected to contribute 25% to the top line by 2025. So good commentary coming in as well here.
Okay, Sonal, thanks a lot for that. Well, Abhishek is joining in to run us through a couple of other stocks he's tracking. Morning, Abhishek.
Morning, Nigel. So to begin with, Equitas Small Finance Bank, they released their Q2 FY23 numbers, which were a beat in terms of the PNL. However, slippages remained elevated. Now, slippages are elevated despite the fact that they have used a different method this time. That is an intra-month recovery. If they had, as per an account slipping in that month itself, then they have not shown it as slippages. So net of that, slippages are elevated. The net interest margin softened a bit by 5 basis points on a sequential basis to 9% versus 9.05% in the previous quarter. So just to run our viewers, the slippages have come in at 314 crore, which compared to 296 crore in the previous quarter, and the annualized slippage ratio is about 5.5% when compared to 5.46% in the previous quarter. Asset quality has improved given the fact that write-offs remained elevated and they had a good recovery in this quarter. So restructured book in absolute value has declined by 17%, and as a percentage of loans, loans, it has come in at 4.3% when compared to 5.5% in the previous quarter. As I mentioned earlier, both the NII and PAT is a beat to our poll. Coming on to the other stock that I'm tracking, which is MOIL, the prices of all ferro grades of ore with manganese content of more than 44% have declined by 7.5%. So prices of all other ferro grades of manganese ore actually continue as prevailing. So a basic price of EMD has increased for November by almost 5.9%. Back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. Well, another stock in focus today would be Timken India, that ball bearings company. It's had a fabulous run in the last 1 year. I mean, it's gone from 1,800 all the way to almost 3,000. Surabhi is here to tell us whether the earnings justify the move in the stock. She's also tracking LT Foods this morning. Surabhi, over to you.
Few other results that are on my radar. The first one is Timken. Good numbers there. Revenues have grown by 25% on a year-on-year basis. EBITDA is also up 6%. Margins are slightly lower at 19% versus 22% same time last year. And PAT is up 24% at 98 crores versus 79 crores same time last year. So a green for Timken. Next is LT Foods, where it saw a revenue growth of 31%, and this was largely led by the basmati rice segment. Gross margins have also improved on a year-on-year basis. EBITDA margins were slightly lower on a year-on-year basis, and this is because of higher freight costs. PAT is up 16% at 94 crores. Overall, good set of numbers by LT Foods, so we'll go with a green for that.
Okay, so more green than red this time around, an indication that earnings has definitely picked up across corporate India. But here's a quick recap of our top stocks in focus. Stocks with positive news flow, there's Bharti, L&T, Axis Bank, TCI Express, Equitas Small Finance Bank, LT Foods and Timken India. While stocks with negative news flow, Tata Steel, Castrol India and MOIL. But let's get a quick comment on what's been happening in the world of commodities as well. Manisha Gupta joins us.